we got a little bit of everything.
Welcome back, everyone. Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, several agents, officers, wildlife officers are with us talking about deer hunting season, other hunting and boating issues and laws that are going into effect across the state. Several calls. Let's go to David. Hello, David.
Yeah, I've got a question for. I grew up out in Old Hickory, and up above the dam, you know, there's some kind of. It's been there ever since we had the flood back years ago. It's like a green murky film that runs from the dam up toward the boat dock. They don't even swim there anymore. Nobody, all the fishing is down below the dam going toward the bridge. I'm just trying to figure out, are they ever going to get this straightened out? Or what could it be? Because like I say, it's like a green murky film that's all over the top of the water. Okay. And I'm just trying to figure out what they can do about that. And I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
Kind of be interesting to know when he's seeing that, I guess, in the summertime.
I don't know, seeing turnover.
It could be any number of things, algae bloom. There's several things it could be.
There's not an obvious immediate sort of focus on that issue.
Water's monitored for quality all up down the river, so if there was an issue, we would know about it as far as the quality of the water.
Okay, let's go to Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Hi, what's on your mind?
I was just wondering, as an agent, are they allowed to walk on anybody's property to check at any time without giving the owners any consent or anything like that?
All right, let's talk about the authority that you all have, and you can start with his question there.
Okay. Typically, what we, a lot of people call us anonymously. We have a hotline that people call, and typically we have a reason to be there when we go on somebody's property, and it's maybe a tip from an anonymous caller. Somebody we know, a farmer may have called, but we usually have a good reason to be there. And if we're checking you, we know you're at least hunting the property, and if you're hunting, we're going to come in and check.
And you would go on to make sure people aren't going over their limits, or what? I guess in that vein, what are some of the things you're doing?
Yeah, we're checking for compliance,
right.
Licenses, harvest, stuff like that. Especially like we just had dove season. And if we drive by and see a field, we would stop and check for licenses and plug guns, harvest, stuff like that. So
a typical scenario is a neighbor that has a joint property line. They'll see a feeder and a deer stand on their neighbor's property, and they'll call us. They'll take a picture of it, call us, and get in touch with the local county officer. They'll send us that picture, and they'll give us that information. And at that point, we will go and see if somebody is hunting in that stand, because it is illegal to hunt over bait. So.
And now explain that. What does that mean, hunt over bait? What do you mean by that?
It's illegal to feed deer and hunt. Typically, somebody will put corn in a feeder, and if they're going to be hunting over bait, they'll put corn or some other type of feed in a feeder, and they'll put a deer stand near that feeder, and they'll sit in that stand and hunt while that deer comes to eat that corn or feed, and that is illegal.
You all probably encounter some pretty difficult situations, some pretty emotional sort of situations. You're talking about property rights. You're talking about people, they certainly have a right to hunt, but there are limitations that are put on it. Sometimes things change, they don't understand. Sometimes they're just blatantly disregarding the regulations or the law. There's probably a lot you encounter that's pretty difficult.
Yes, yeah. Some people are, we encounter some people that are calm and easy to get along with in the woods, and a lot of people we encounter in the woods have a rifle and have a shotgun, and you have to be kind of careful with how you handle people with a weapon or with a when they're hunting. A little bit different than just walking up on somebody in the street with with no weapon. Just kind of have to be a little more careful.
The most common violation, is it hunting without a license? Is it taking too many animals? What would be, I guess, the most common?
Probably license violations. We see a lot of those, whether it's fishing or hunting. Mostly fishing, though. We have a lot of fishermen in the state, but we do see a lot of license issues.
Okay, let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for your job you do. I got a question. We got a farm down in Giles County. Of course, that's in the heart of deer country and turkey season and all that, but we're having problems with people tearing down the fences and trespassing. We've done confiscated 2 deer stands already. They're sitting in the shop down there. But I got a question. Can you recommend a good camera to try to catch these people? And also, I got a conspiracy question. You know how a lot of old men talk. They've been seeing a big cat down there, and I just wonder what your thoughts were. Thanks.
All right, I love that. Love that question. All right. So they've seen a mountain lion.
That's probably
He said a big cat.
Yeah, he didn't say mountain lion.
He did say mountain lion. He said a
I'm
big
just
cat.
kidding. I don't know what he said. You're right. He didn't say mountain. He said a big cat.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
what? See, I'm interested in that first. So let's take that one first. What's? You think there's anything?
Could
to
be a
that?
big bobcat, or a house cat.
Could be a house cat.
But no, we get
We get a lot
probably
of calls.
several calls a year on mountain lions or cougars, and and some people are emphatic that they saw it. As far as an agency is concerned, in the state, we do not have any mountain lions, cougars, black panthers. Now, with that said, it's not saying that someone can't have a pet or have a baby and they've raised it and moved into the state and they got it from out west somewhere and they brought it in as a pet and then it gets too big or they let it go or it gets away. That's possible that could happen, but officially in the state we don't have them.
Have you ever had to go catch one? I mean, if it's possible that could happen, and theoretically somebody moves here from California with their pet lion or whatever, and it grows too big, they let it go. Have you ever had to go and get one of those
I don't
things?
recall.
No.
We did have a few in the state that were permitted in the 80s, maybe early 90s, but they are no longer anymore in the state. I think those permits ran out. So I don't think we've officially got any in the state even permitted. Whether now they may be in a facility like a zoo or something, but as far as just in the state, wild animals, officially our stance is we don't have them.
Okay.
And we do go check on the calls.
Yeah.
We receive several calls a year, and we will go look for tracks or go look for sign, but we just never been able to see that. See that sign or see that picture that's not already over the internet.
Right.
Or we've never seen that.
If you think about it, we have thousands and thousands of hunters in the woods every year, thousands, and no one has ever shot one or taken a cell phone picture of one that's a really good picture. We just haven't had that. Just like Bigfoot. Lots of people see Bigfoot, but nobody's ever shot one or
Right.
got a good picture of one.
See, I'm fascinated by all that. Okay, so no Bigfoot is what I'm hearing. All right, his other question had to do with there are people they've confiscated deer stands. He asked about a camera, but that whole issue, someone deer hunting on his personal property, what advice do you have for him?
Yeah, he just needs to get in touch with the local game warden down there, and he can call the office. The numbers are in our hunting guide, and ask for the Giles County officer. And I'm sure they'll be glad to try and help him out. But the best thing he can do is try and keep it posted. And as far as cameras go, there's lots of good cameras out there right now.
I have a good Browning camera. It's on it's got a great no flash night mode, and you don't know it's there. So Browning has a really good camera. It's a little bit pricey, but I've not had any issues with it.
Yeah, they make a lot of cameras that don't have any flash now or any red glow or anything. Call them blackout cameras, and they're really good. They've gotten a lot better in the last few years.
And is that what property owners do now?
A lot of hunters are using them to take pictures of the kind of an inventory of the animals on their property. So, and at the same time, if someone's walking through their property, they will probably get them on camera also.
Fascinating. And then that would be something they could take to you all.
Sure.
And you have
Here's the
hard
guy.
evidence.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, it's illegal for somebody to hunt without permission, and that's what's going on. It sounds like in this case, he's got people trespassing on him and hunting without permission, putting up deer stands on them. So that's something that, like Sergeant Matt Bryan here said, that he can get in touch with the Giles County officer and hopefully can help them out.
And as far as officers go, how many? They wouldn't have to call Nashville, right? I mean, every county has some officers, or how does that work?
Every county has wildlife officers in it, and they can always get in touch with their county sheriff's department, because most of our, as far as I know, all of our officers are in touch with their sheriff's departments, and they can always contact their sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department can probably get in touch with that wildlife officer, or they can call our dispatch, which is in every region. There's 4 regions in the state. Every region has we have our own TWRA dispatch, and they can contact that TWRA dispatch and get in touch with that officer.
All right, let's go to Emma. Hello, Emma.
Yes. I was in White Bluff, Tennessee, and I've been seeing a lot of armadillos that have been run over and killed on the road, and I was just curious. I've never seen so many of them run over, and I was just wondering what's going on. Are they, I don't know. Anyway, I've been seeing a lot of them, so I was just curious.
Okay. What's going on?
They're a non-native species to the state of Tennessee, and they're just moving. I mean, they're moving north, out of the south. Over the past 5 years, they just keep moving north through the state, and they're just getting into places that people have never seen them before, and they hang out in the road at night, and people run over them.
We think it has a little bit to do with our winters are a little bit warmer now. And so they're able to survive through the winter here, so they're slowly migrating north to a certain point probably, but right now they're able to live through the winter here.
That's interesting. So that would be something I guess she wouldn't have seen normally.
No, she would not have seen it 10 years ago. She probably wouldn't have seen it.
But now, because it's warmer or whatever,
that's kind of one thing that we think maybe.
Interesting. All right, let's go to Edward. Hello, Edward.
Yes, sir. I'm a gardener, and deer are harvesting a lot more than I am. I got a question. Do I need a hunting license to kill deer on my own property in the hunting season?
That's a good question. Do you need a license to kill deer on your own property during hunting season?
No, he would not need one during the hunting season. Outside of the hunting season, what he can do is get in touch with his local officer, and they can give him a kill permit, and it would enable him to harvest animals that are harvesting his crops. So we do that for people that have damage to their crops or anything like that.
Now, would you ever question that? I mean, that could be a loophole, right?
We do go out and look at it. There are certain boundaries that we set, whether it be antlerless deer only or does only. Sometimes we make the individuals call us when they do harvest an animal. So, but we do have options for him. If he'll call in, again, the number's in our hunting guide, or he can look online on our website, get the number to the office, and call in just at whatever county he's in, ask for that officer, and we can come out and take a look at it.
And you may have mentioned this, but he's still limited to the season that is in at the time. So if he wants to take out a deer in his yard, he would still have to use archery equipment this weekend up until muzzleloader season. Then he could use a muzzleloader. That's within the hunting seasons. But now with a deer damage permit, the rules are a little different. We would specify what he could use on that deer damage permit.
Because he would be claiming, well, I don't care about the deer, I just am a gardener, and I just want to protect my crops.
Right.
And so he probably didn't want to get a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But he could be, I mean, the people could use that to get around all kinds of stuff.
And we always go out and inspect it.
We're all for people wanting to protect their crops and getting what they get out of their garden. So, it's a free depredation permit. We'll come out there and, we'll write them a permit. And, we'll set some parameters. If it's outside of deer season, we'll set some parameters on how he can kill the deer, how many. There's just different parameters we'll set for it. But it's a free permit, so, it's something that we want to be able to help landowners out with if they're having problems.
All right.
And a lot of farmers will call us every year for that damage permit. And one thing that farmers could kind of look at or understand is some of them lease their property out. And when they lease the property out, people come hunt the property. The farmer could set some own parameters and say, if you're going to lease my property, I have a deer problem that are eating my crops. So I need you to harvest more antlerless, more female deer to knock the population down, because most of them are looking for a rack, a good-sized buck. So the farmer could control a lot of his deer population through the hunting season by telling his people that hunt the farm, shoot some antlerless deer, or I'll let somebody else come in and hunt them. And they don't want to lose their ability to hunt the property, so they will take some antlerless deer off the property. So that's a tool that farmers could use to knock out the population a little bit legally.
Okay. All right, good question. Thanks for that call. We are going to take a break, and then we're going to start going through bunches of calls. So hold on the line if you're there. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.